Coming up on this week's Towncast Pembroke Dock is all the usual local news and events and sports updates. Plus, we are privileged to have a little chat with Town Mayor Michelle Wiggins. And if you ever wondered what a town mayor does, what the town council does, how you can get involved, this is worth you listening to. So let's get on with it.
Be strong.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Towncast Pembroke Dock. First of all, I hope you had a great week, and thank you for your comments on last week's show. So, if you missed last week's show, it's obviously still available and what have you. And it was about aspiration, and it was about a comment that somebody had made to me a while ago, that kind of stuck in my head after a while, and I've 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 had quite a few conversations. As you can imagine, it sparked a few conversations with people through the week. So I just wanted to thank everyone for being a part of that conversation. And yes, there's a balance between heritage and the future. But if your heritage pulls you down, then your future's got to pull you up, and it's got to give us something to aim for. So yeah, please do go back and have a listen to that one if you haven't already, because I think it's a really important conversation that we need to have, as a town, as everyone in the town. So, coming up today, like you already just heard, it'll be my conversation with Michelle Wiggins, town mayor, and that very much feeds into last week's show as well. So, before we do that, let's have a little look at news and events. Not much news going on, always a good thing. If you've got any positive news stories, do please let me know. Um, Events coming up. So we've got quite a few decent events coming up. First thing, I'm going to start with those road closures. So it's not necessarily Pembroke Dock, but it will affect us in Pembroke Dock. Okay. So starting tomorrow, so this is going to go out Monday. So this is starting on Monday night. They're resurfacing the road between Kilgetty roundabout and St Clair's roundabout. Massive thing. So I don't know how much of it is being done, but overnight closures. So in between 7 p.m. and 6 a.m., all the next week, or all of this week's from the 16th to the 21st, okay, all of that road closed overnight. So if you're traveling after 7 p.m. or before 6 a.m., it's closed. There'll be routes in place, but we know why that road was put in, because trying to navigate your way around the country roads is an absolute crazy idea. In all honesty, if you are traveling up to St Clair's, you're probably better off cutting across, go to Carew, cut across, or from Kilgetty, cutting across to the A40, and then head up to St Clair's that way. I'm guessing that's where the natural route will be. That'll be the way that you get directed, but just have it in your head to add a few extra minutes if that's on your journey. Through the day, there will be single lane closures as well. So that is going to affect time as well. So if you're heading Carmarthen, Swansea, Cardiff, anywhere this week, or anyone's coming down, be aware that's going to slow things up on a part of the road that's traditionally very quick. Okay, so what we're talking about, road closures. Well, when is it? The 28th, 29th. So not this weekend coming, weekend after. Long course road closures around Pembroke. Loads of stuff on the Saturday and the Sunday. Loads more detail of that on the Pembroke Towncast this week. So if that's going to affect you, then might be worth having a look at that. Might be just worth bearing that in mind, because traffic in the dock does tend to get a bit more busy as people avoid Pembroke on that one. So, yeah, let's have a look at some events. So, the big event we've got coming up on the 21st is the 1940s big band concert. And dancing and everything else. So that's over in the pavilion in the dockyard. Doors open at 6, band from 8. There's food, there's drink, there's a 1940s theme. It's been done previously in a Pater Hall as well and been very well attended, but this is a bit bigger, a bit more of a live band, all of those kind of things. It's a little bit expensive. It's £25 a ticket, but it's a massive fundraiser for the Heritage Centre in Pembroke Dock, and they put on loads of stuff through the year. So it is, it's well worth going. It is a good night out. We don't get many, special nights out and events like this in Pembroke Dock. So it's good to go and support. Fancy dress is optional, but who wouldn't want to, dress like a 1940? I don't know what 1940s dress would be, but somebody will help you. So Google will help you on that. So yeah, that's happening on 21st, which would be the 21st would be, is that Friday or Saturday? 21st would be Saturday night, yes. So that's this Saturday, this coming Saturday at the Dockyard Pavilion. If you've got any questions and you want to buy tickets, Heritage Centre is the place for you on that. So coming up on the 29th as well. So again, that's the Sunday after. We've got another bingo, a charity fundraising bingo at Penna Hall. Doors open at 6, eyes down at 7, usual sort of thing. Well worth getting involved in that one as well. So while I'm talking about events, and you'll hear me talk about this in my interview with Michelle, trying to find out what's going on locally can be a bit difficult. We tend to rely on word of mouth, and so you'll have a set group of people that'll be there, and then you try and do stuff. So my hints and tips, if you're trying to promote something on Facebook, okay. So first of all, if you've got a poster, usually you get a poster, and you want to put and most people just put that on their page, job done. Okay. So if you're going to do that, give the poster a name. When you save it to your hard drive, give the poster a name that's got Pembroke Dock in it. So and preferably an event. So events Pembroke Dock or Pembroke Dock events. Okay. That will bump it up the algorithm. Yeah. So anytime someone searches for Pembroke Dock, that will come up because it always shows images first. Anytime it searches events in Pembroke Dock, that will come up because it's got that little bit on the algorithm as well. Then in your little but underneath it, put hashtag Pembroke Dock. Yeah. Put something there that will guide people and search into there, because Facebook algorithm is changing massively, and Google algorithm. To be honest, Google algorithm isn't what it used to be. It's a constant evolving thing. Nobody knows how to control it, in all honesty. But what they do know is that you need to put more information in there, because your posters, your adverts, your events are being shown to less and less people, particularly if you're a mature page. Unless you're doing stuff that people are interacting with on a daily basis, it's really difficult to get out there. So that's why I said to tag us in things. We'll keep sharing. That will help your algorithm. More people that share it like that, the better your algorithm comes, the more people that get involved in it. So if you have got an event in Pembroke Dock, please either hashtag Pembroke Dock or tag us in it, or do both. Tag us in both, and we'll be more than happy to talk about it on next week's Timecast. We'll be more than happy to share it as time comes as well. So a little bit of a heads up as well that we've got some events coming up with the Town Council for Armed Forces Day. I'll talk about those a little bit more next week as well. So let's move on to the chatty bit. So I was lucky enough this week to have a chat with Michelle Wiggins, who is our town mayor, just about general stuff. So this is a great way to kick it off. Um, and what I'd say to you on this is it's well worth having a listen, and it's well worth kind of thinking, how can you get involved in your town? But we'll talk about that a little bit more after we've seen what Michelle's got to say. So let's see what Michelle's got to say now. So joining me today on this week's chatty bit is Michelle Wiggins, or Councillor Michelle Wiggins, Mayor of Pembroke Dock. Good afternoon, Michelle.
Oh, good afternoon, Lee.
So this is great for us because this is the first. So to speak to the mayor on our first kind of interview is fantastic. So thank you for that. So what I thought we'd do is we just have a bit of a chat about what it means to be mayor. 'Cause not a lot of people know what it means to be mayor and what you do and things like that. So let's start with an easy one about kind of yourself and who you are and what you do and how you ended up being mayor.
Okay, all right. So in 2022, the Buffalo Ward came up for the first time. The Boundary Commission changed everything, and it was Penna and Buffalo, but it became just Buffalo. So I thought I would try and be a councillor and be elected for it. And I went up against two other people, and I got in as county councillor and did that. I then came to the town council and had an interview in July of that year, and then had my first meeting in September and became on the town councillor. There's 16 town councillors in Pembroke Dock. And then I really like helping people, and I've done a lot in the community. I moved here in 2004 and lived in Bethlehem since 2005. And I helped with Penna Hall and the trustee, and I helped out Friends of Penna at the school, and just helping out on the community and things. It just made me want to help people, organise events and do positive things. So then I became deputy mayor last year and was elected mayor this year. So my role as mayor is to promote the town as much as I can, and just help the community. Stop there. Yeah, I've spoken too much.
So I mean,
Right.
Penna Hall is
Yeah.
a real kind of success story, isn't it? Because I remember when I was a little lad, where it was very run down and very not used and that kind of stuff. So what kind of things happen in Penna Hall? Because I know little bits about Penna Hall, but not much. So what kind of things happen in?
Right. So they do everything at Penna Hall, but we've got warm rooms, we've got guides, we've got people that practice play music. I'm trying to think of all the things now. We have aftertones, so we have people singing. We have art club, gardening club. We have on a Friday night we have singers that come there, and like we have parties there. I think that's it. Penna Hall do have like on their Facebook page a what's on right in the corner with all the times so that you know what's happening. It's run by so many trustees, and we all do our bit.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, from a town council point of view, it's good to kind of see something actual physical happening. Do you know what I mean? It shows that this is what a town
Yeah.
this is what people can do, isn't it?
Yeah, so like we do have Pater Hall who do all these things. I've written a load, but I don't want to miss anyone out. We've got Pembroke Dock Community Hall as well that do things, and like the Prince of Wales and the Red Roses, they're pubs, but they put on events. The cricketers, we've got the golf course. Cutch Cafe have music nights. Even our Masters pub has quiz nights, and the Quins. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody here, but we have such a lovely community in Pembroke Dock. We are very lucky. There is always something going on.
And that's the bit I want to capture in the podcast, but trying to get all the information together out of everyone and be a little bit like pulling blood out of a stone sometimes. And I think we're quite a traditional community in the sense that we talk to each other a lot. So a lot of advertising happens on word of mouth.
Yeah.
Whereas I look on social media and I look for things like that. But it's good to know there's loads of stuff happening. So talk to me about being a mayor then.
Right.
So people have this opinion of there are two kind of sides to what people think of a mayor. Either you control everything and it's your responsibility if a dog leaves his business in the main street, or you do absolutely nothing and it's just a complete waste of time. So what's the reality then of being a mayor, and what does a mayor do?
Right. So the role of the mayor for me is to promote the town as much as I can. One of my jobs now is I chair all the town council meetings. So every month we have a meeting, and it's my responsibility now to chair that meeting. I don't think I have any powers at all. It's not like the England mayors. I'm allowed to say that or not, but um, and the challenges I've written like challenges Pembroke Dock. Do you want me to say what they
Yeah,
are? So
good.
the challenges of Pembroke Dock for me are the empty buildings, the empty shops, getting footfall back into the town. I would like more free parking to encourage people to visit for longer and to help our small businesses. And it's not just our town that's facing these difficulties. We've got to look at towns differently, maybe, and just look at it all differently and try and get a better solution. But I try and work with lots of community groups. I do lots of litter picks, and I'm trying to bring everything together. And like on Saturday, I opened a gym, for instance.
Yep.
So you can now say to me, Michelle, where is that gym? They're open 24 hours, and I can pass that information on, and that's what I want to do. So I think it's very important that I can try and be everywhere as much as I can. I went to the youth club last night, and I really do want to involve the youth as much as I can as well, because I feel they are our future. But it's just getting them in here, and I don't want to I don't want to say what I think they need. I want them to come and tell me what they need rather than, lots of, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the difficult bit, isn't it? Is saying to people, I think people are quite reserved in coming forward about I want this, I want this.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of people that will come, I want this and I want this and I want this. But trying to get the breadth of the whole town involved into, 25 different projects or whatever is quite difficult, isn't it?
Mhm.
So what would be your message to let's take the youth club and the
Okay.
kids in the youth club, and because I used to go to that youth club when I was
cool.
yeah. So what would you say to the kids that are visiting that youth club and the ones who maybe aren't visiting the youth club? What would you say to them about how they can influence what's happening in the town?
I don't know, maybe we could organise a visit and they could come and visit the town council, maybe. And I have actually met Future Works in the park, and we took them to the park and talked, because obviously that was a place they like to go. Um, yeah, yeah.
So for me, I mean, let's take the event that we were talking about before we started
Lovely.
recording.
Yeah.
That was a huge success, and getting kids involved in something like that, having a regular annual kind of park event sort of a thing. I mean, is that the sort of thing that kids? I say kids, anyone under 25 is a kid for me nowadays anyway, but young people can get involved in the town and be a part of those kinds of things, can't they?
Yeah, no, definitely. So we actually do a fun in the park every single year. It's not new. We do it every year, but this year, because it was 100 years, we'd spent a little bit more, and we really had a fantastic day. It really was, and obviously the weather helped too. But the children all went on the rides, and we just think with the tennis courts at the top as well, we've sort of had them done, haven't we? But yeah, we just need to get them in somehow and work with them more. Yeah.
Yeah. Just, do you remember? You will probably, yeah. No, we used to have right in the park. It was a really stupid thing to put in the park. It was like a sit-on dragon. It had a dragon's head at one side, and then it would go up and up and down like this, and it was crazy, and you'd fall off and hit your head and get back up and get on, and it was made of iron, so it was really, really heavy. I cannot find anywhere. I don't know what they're called. I don't know what they what they, but I remember riding it for hours when I was a kid and falling off loads and loads of times. So I've asked this on the pod before. If anybody knows what that thing was called, I used to call it the Psycho Dragon. Let's go ride the Psycho Dragon. But if anybody knows if it's got an official name, do let me know, because that was I can't see anyone bringing it back. I'll be honest. So let's talk about your 12 months. So
Okay.
being a mayor is a 12 months kind of a thing. So what kind of things are in the pipeline for the next 12 months?
Right. So what I'm hoping to achieve.
Yeah, what you want to do in the
Right. Well, so I'm fundraising for my two charities. I'm doing that as well. And I'm just hoping that I can be positive, showcase more what Pembroke Dock has got. Like it's got a golf club, a cricket club, rugby club, football club. We've got lots here. We've got Asda and Tesco, but people have to go to shop. But that obviously has killed the town a little bit because they'll go there. So we just need to get them back into the town. But I'm just going to try and work with all the communities and try and just bring them all together more. And we are actually very lucky because when anything bad does happen, our community just gets in there, helps us, and we are really lucky. It's a wonderful, wonderful town. So I am very lucky as well to be doing this job. So
It's one of those things where we're quite comfortable in putting ourselves down as a town, and it's. I wish we could do more. Do you know what I mean? I wish we could just big ourselves up a little bit more. Sometimes I think we feel a little bit fragile about doing it. We feel, if we say Pembroke Dock's going to be good, then somebody else is going to come in and have a go at us or something. But I genuinely think that it's a great town.
It's a great town. I love our town. We've got the Heritage Centre, the Maritime Museum. I'm trying to, so I don't miss anyone out. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anyone out. But we've got all the military history here and just all the lovely old buildings. And I really would love to see them reused again. And I've already done 1.5 months, and I appreciate this is just going to fly, But I'm just going to do the best I can and just keep promoting the town. And also, I just have to say, I've got such a great team here on the town council. So, like, without them, it would be very, very hard. So, yeah.
Well, I've said that on the pod already. I know. Yes, I have.
Good.
Yeah. Because, I say I do a load of podcasts at different places and trying to get people like rugby clubs is my other one, obviously, but trying to get town councils on board and saying, here's an opportunity is really difficult. But in Pembroke Dock, we've got a hard core of people who will go, do you know what? Okay, let's keep trying stuff. Let's keep doing stuff. And, we should be proud of that. We should really be proud of the town that we've got and what it could be. So my last kind of question then was, last week I did a thing about the aspirations for the town and, what we felt the town could be and where we could go with it. So what would your inspiration for the town be? What do you think Pembroke Dock could be in the future?
I already think it's great. But I just want more people to be able to come into our town. And sometimes I think with the parking it is difficult. So maybe I can look at that more. But
so like town centre wise,
yeah.
What kind of things can we try and do in the town centre? Obviously we've got Woolies over the road there, the old Woolies building that just has never really kind of come back to life or anything. So how can we bring people into the town centre so somebody can then look at that building and go, oh, there's an opportunity to invest in there? What kind of things can we?
Yeah, so I think with that shop, for instance, it's just too big and it is very expensive. So maybe we need to look at it and section it off more. I don't know. But it is just getting people in. So for instance, St. Govans did an event the other week in St. Govans. There's some new shops in there now, but it is privately owned. So but it is, and with the bank going as well, people come to the town for the bank, so that's not going to be great for Pembroke Dock. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I've got a couple of quick fire questions to so these are the fun ones.
Right. Okay.
So you don't think about these. Okay, quick fire questions. Okay, cats or dogs?
Oh, cats.
Tea or coffee?
Oh, I'm coffee.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird and night owl, I think. I don't think I get to sleep.
Night on the town or night in front of the fire?
Oh, both. Well, I can say that, but I like at the moment, like being mayor now, I'm out all the time. My husband hardly sees me. But I do obviously like being at home too. But I do like being out there.
Okay. Netflix or TV?
TV.
Spotify or an old-fashioned record player?
Oh, let's go old-fashioned record player. I have to Google Spotify. Is this going to go out live? Yeah.
And if you could make one thing happen in Pembroke Dock today, what would it be?
Maybe just see come and see the town. Come into the town. Look at it differently. And anyone at all that's got ideas, please come and find me. I'm at Warm Rooms every Monday. I volunteer at the Heritage Centre. Come and find me. Let me know any ideas. I welcome them all. So, yeah.
Fantastic.
Right.
Michelle, thank you very much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And yeah.
Thank you for taking the time to come and find out as well. So,
No problems at all.
thank you.
Yeah, let's go do some sports desk. Okay, so before we move on to the sports desk, I just want to thank Michelle and the town council for doing that. It's not something that town councillors sign up for, and it's not something that everyone kind of goes, okay, yeah, I know what to do on that. That's fine. Let's do that. So massive thank you to Michelle and Sarah at the town council for setting that up. The room that they've got in the town council for doing these kind of things, by the way, is fantastic, and it's another huge asset for our town council. So if you're a town group or something like that, and you're struggling for a meeting room, particularly if you need to zoom somebody in to that meeting room, I can absolutely bang on recommend asking the town council to if you can hire their room. I don't know if they do. I don't know if they don't. But having used it, wow, bang on in terms of tech. So just picking up on some of the things that Michelle was saying there, and some of the things that we spoke about last week. If we want to make our town better jobs, better services, let's make it look better, let's make it feel better, let's give ourselves something to be a part of, give ourselves something to connect with when our kids up and leave and go away. Let's give them some firm roots that this is what people in Pembroke Dock do, and this is how people in Pembroke Dock behave. All of those kind of things. If we want to do that, then we need to do it. Speaking to not just Michelle, but lots of other people that are involved in terms. The difficulty is getting lots of people involved. And yeah, people are going to criticize whatever you do. You could paint the town gold and give everybody £1 million, and somebody would complain that why haven't they got 1.5 million? We know there are people like that out there. Okay, as residents, we need to go, do you know what? We aren't going to please everybody all of the time, but let's try and do something to please quite a few of us, and let's see how big we can make that. So I know that the town council want people to come and be involved. If you want to set up an event and you want to do something with an event, and you need a bit of help and support about how you grow it, how you promote it, how you might need to close off roads, you might need to advertise stuff, you might need to ask for support, go to the town council, make contact with the town council, Google it, message them, Facebook them, whatever you need to do, yeah. But have that conversation and let's get people involved, because the one thing I know about organizing events is you need a lot of people. You need a lot of people to do a lot of very boring things. But if you can get that done, that whole event looks great. So here's my suggestion for an event this week. You'll find I've got loads of these as we go forward. Okay. And the way I do events is I very much start with what do you have? What resources do you have available, and how can you use those resources? So my thought this week is, with long course coming up in Pembroke, Pembroke Dock gets none of the benefit for that. All right, we don't get the road closed. So that's kind of like a side benefit. But what do we don't have any events in our town that kind of bring people up. And then you look at if you look at Ironman, and the run that goes through Tenby, and it goes up and down roads, and it'll go down one side of the road and back up the other. And there's loads of places where you can go in Tenby and watch, and they'll come from one direction, they'll go from the other direction, and people just spend the day walking around, having a beer, having a sandwich, meeting up with friends. It's great, yeah. Unless you're a resident, in which case it can be a pain. But could we do something like that in Pembroke Dock? You look at the road layout we've got, yeah, where it's up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and then there's a loop around the outside. Could we do something? Could we have, even if it's a small, 5K, 10K run or whatever, is this something we could do in Pembroke Dock that kind of ties that in? Now, the one bit I'd say on this is that we would need to start and finish in the same place in the town centre. Yeah. So whether that's the crossroads by the old Barclays Bank down the bottom, with a car park behind it in St. Govern's, that's an ideal place because you've got the car park behind, so you've got like a almost like a ready-built market area. You've got massive wide streets going off it. You've got shops, businesses around it. So it's a natural center for starting and finishing these things. So maybe somebody wants to look at how far, if you went up and down a whole load of the streets in Pembroke Dock, where how far could you go? What distance would that be? Is it a 5K? Is it a 10K? Let's throw the ideas out there. The bit I'd say is if you keep London Road and Route 9 open, and then maybe Ferry Lane as well, that kind of keeps traffic flowing. Top Road, Top Road is a great road to run across. In all honesty, yes, it takes you kind of out of the town, but maybe, I don't know, maybe bits work, maybe coming back down into the town through the park or whatever. Who knows? But if somebody wants to come up and go, here's something we can do. Here's an event we can start with. Then yeah, let's get something going. Sometimes in my head, yeah, last Saturday of every month should be event. Bang, 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 bang. Maybe you adjust that for Christmas, but you go last Saturday of every month. Let's have an event either in the town centre or in the park or Hobbs Point or down on the seafront. Let's do something every month. The way to get that done, you start with one. So yeah, that's just my idea for this week, and nowhere near as controversial as last week. And if you've seen Tancast Pembroke from last week, wow, nowhere near as controversial as that. So the call to arms very much coming from Michelle and the town council was let's get as many people involved as we possibly can, particularly the youngsters. Let's get young voices in, because you're going to be the people that will benefit in 5, 10, 15 years time. You're the people that are more likely to keep those events going for the next 15, 20, 25 years, where it becomes a real thing, and then you hand it over to the next generation and they go, hey, yeah, do you know what, this has got a bit of heritage, let's move it forward. So yeah, if anybody is out there listening, and I know there are a couple because you messaged me. So if you're out there and you're listening, let's get people together. Let's get the town together. Let's have a chat with the town council. Let's see what we can do, and I will more than happily promote you on the Towncast. So yeah, okay. Now let's go and have a look at some sports. Let's go have a look at the sports desk. Where's that gone? There. Okay, starting as always on allwalessport.co.uk. Great place to go for any of your cricket, rugby, football fixtures and results. So, these are the results for the fourth. I only got 1 week this week because I'm on the ball. So, yesterday, 14th of June, Kiru lost to Cresselly. That was the big one. That was the big one that we were looking at, and we were going, "Wow, this is the big game." The thing to look at this, yeah. So Cresselly went into bat at 286 for 9. That's a huge total, and then to bowl Kiru out for 140, massive on that. So well done, Cresselly. Excellent win on that. If anybody's got the batting figures and the bowling figures, by all means share them on our Facebook page, because that's absolutely the sort of stuff that we want to look at. Also down the bottom here, you can see Loreni beat Whitland. That was a really good win for Loreni. It was, we said, a kind of mid-table battle. So let's have a look at how that's affected the table. Cresselly now top of the table. It's still close with Kiru. So they both went into that last game undefeated. So it's going to be between those two at the end of the season. You kind of get that feeling. And Loreni, yeah, just kind of keeping themselves in touch with that top of the half of the table. A little bit out of it, but not completely. Not completely. So yeah, congrats on those. So fixtures for next weekend then. So 21st of June, Cresselly travel to Herbinston. Realistically, we're a Herbie in the table, mid-table, just below Loreni. That you've got to back Cresselly on that one and say, yeah, that's a good win waiting to happen there. I think I said they were travelling to it. So Cresselly host Herbinston. Kiru travel to Neyland. That'll be a good game. And Loreni travel to Saundersfoot. Really tough game for Loreni. Your Saundersfoot are in that top kind of bit of the table. Kiru and Neyland as well. Where you look at where they are, second and third, you'd hope that Kiru would be strong enough, but Neyland are just one of those teams that no one likes playing Neyland, especially in Neyland on that. So yeah, some good fixtures coming for this weekend as well. Let's have a little look at Division 2. So Cresselly seconds lost to St Ishmael's. And you look at that score, they didn't just lose, they got battered on that. Being bowled out for 62 after St Ishmael's have posted 216. You say that's a good batting wicket if someone's posting 216. So to be all out for 62, oof, on that one. Kiru seconds down the bottom there, lost to Pembroke. 245 for 7, Pembroke. And again, Kiru seconds, all out for 49. 245, again, good batting wicket, and then all out 49. Yeah, it's not a great weekend for our two clubs there. And there you can see just starting to lose touch with that top half of the table. Technically, still within touching distance. It is quite tight. I'd say Narberth and St Ishmael's, possibly even Pembroke, top three. I'd say certainly Narberth are quite safe there, and then St Ishmael's and Pembroke are kind of fighting it out for that second position. So, yeah, bit of work to do for Kiru and Cresselly seconds there. Let's have a look at fixtures for this weekend. Oof. Kiru seconds hosting Narberth. That's going to be a toughie. That is a real toughie. And then Cresselly seconds away in Burton. Burton seconds, I think, are bottom of the table. So you'd hope that there's a bit of an opportunity there for Cresselly. yeah, Cresselli should realistically be beating Burton on that one. Let's have a look in Division 3. This is where the sexy stuff happens in Division 3. So here we go. Fishguard all out for 55, Pembroke Dock 124. So another good win for the Dock on that one. Should put us back kind of. Oh, that was top of the table. That was top of the table. Clash, people. Hang fire. Back up just a little old Moniono. We bowled Fishguard out for 55 after posting 124. So not a great batting wicket in Fishguard. You'd expect more from Fishguard, in all honesty. But yeah, that makes that top of the table really interesting. 5 points between us, oof. Okay, game on, people. Game on. Hundleton and Stackpole not that far away from us, but to beat Fishguard in Fishguard, I think I said last week if the Dock were going to do anything, that was a game they needed to win. Yeah, feeling quite confident now for the end of the season. Let's have a look. Who have we got this week? Nayland seconds, bottom of the table. So you'd look at that and you go, okay, boys, bat first. You know, the Dock wicket has been massively improved in the years since I was playing there. It's a good batting wicket now, particularly if it's kept dry. So if you get a nice sunny, dry week, let's put some batting points on against Nayland and let's put 200, 250 on and then bowl them out for 25. This could be, a really good second half of the season. This could be a really good run in for Pembroke Dock at the end of the season there. If you're sat around and not doing anything on a Saturday afternoon, get your backsides up to Imble Lane. If you don't know where it is, okay, you probably driven past the flag on the top road. So Imble Lane, you drive, if you're coming from the school and you're heading towards Penner, so you'll drive past the flag, you'll get to the end of the Old Town Wall, and then you'll turn left into, is it Imble Close, Imble Terrace, something like that. Drive down the hill, there's a turning on the left, you'll see the cricketers in there. The bar's in there as well. There's loads of places for you to sit out. If it's a nice sunny day, it's a really nice place to sit out, then walk home, pick up your car on the Sunday, because I can guarantee that's going to be a good fixture to go and watch on that one. Okay, let's have a look in Division 4. Division 4, this is where I kind of lose track of who we've got there. So, right, Loreni seconds, match abandoned. Probably a weather thing, in all honesty, if you look at that. Yeah, Haverfordwest thirds, and then Saundersfoot and Lanryan, Carew thirds. I always miss Carew thirds on this one. So looks like the weather had a bit of an effect on those games further down the leagues. It always surprises me that how keen Division 1 and 2 are to make sure that these games go on. And then as you get down in Division 4 and 5, I can guarantee that the bars were very, very full on those games. So very little effect on the table there, where we've got Loreni and Kiri seconds, kind of mid-table there. Still not out of it. I'd say, promotion is probably away. I'd say you're probably safe from going down a league or two, but it would be nice to be a couple of spaces higher on there. So fixtures for this week then: Loreni seconds host St Ishmael seconds, and Carew thirds travel to Lanryan seconds as well. So a couple of decent games there. We'll have a little look in Division 5, because this is where the sexy boys play. Okay, this is where the sexy boys are. So Pembroke Dock seconds beat Cresselli thirds, 227 for 5 posted by the seconds. Well done, boys. I mean, that is a belting score for Division 5. Like I say, it's a really good batting wicket at the Dock. So 227 for 5 and then bowling Cresselli out for 90. Comfortable win there. Well done, boys. I mean, yeah, fair play. Where does that put us in the table? Still in touch, 133 points for Lechlid at the top, and then we're in third. We're on 126. I think we're safe from the rest of the table. Oh, Cresselli thirds. Did I? Oh yeah, that was the same one. Sorry, that's who we were playing. So Cresselli maybe in a little bit of trouble at the bottom there. Nayland thirds, really, really struggling at the bottom on 30 points. Cresselli thirds, one off the bottom on 62. Handleton seconds on 68 points, Whitland seconds on 73 points are well within, those are two decent games worth of scores there. Dock seconds in third place on 126 points. Lechlid top on 133. That's realistically that's a one game swing. So let's see who's playing who this weekend. Dock seconds away to Haverfordwest fourths. Now I've got last time I played at Haverfordwest fourths, I'd had a really good couple of. I used to bat about 7 or 8. And I'd been knocking up 35s and 40s, and it was going all well. But I was only like 18, 19, and I was very much a social cricketer, as I've said before. And my captain said to me, jokingly, he said, get your pads on, Griff, because you're in number 3 this week. I went, okay, yeah. And I went off and played football with a couple of mates while I was waiting, expecting, a couple of wickets down, and he'd actually put me in at number 3. So the first wicket went down after about 3 or 4 overs, and they went, who's next? And they started shouting for me. I thought I kicked the ball against someone's car or something. So, yeah, fond memories of playing in Haverfordwest. So I don't think they were very impressed with me. I think I went in 4th. I think whoever was due to go in 4th went in 3rd, and then I went in 4th after that. And I never batted so high after that. So so Dock seconds visiting Haverfordwest this week, and Cresselli hosting Whitland. So again, some decent fixtures there. I'm really hoping the Dock can kick on there. If you look, here we go. See, so Haverfordwest Falls are just one below us, but they've only won 3 games this year so far. So whereas the Dock have won 6, same as all the others. So this is just on batting points. That's the only difference there is on batting points. Yeah, fingers crossed. Should be a good one this week. Okay, Division 6. So in Division 6, we've got this Haverfordwest Cresselli team. Results from last week. Did they play? No, all games abandoned. Yeah, no great surprise there. So not going to have any massive effect on the table. Fixtures for this weekend. Haverfordwest Cresselli play Pembroke thirds, which would be a good one as well. Okay, that kind of wraps up our Towncast for this week. I just want to say, if you're liking what you're seeing and hearing, please do subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on our social medias, and tell your friends. I say, Pembroke Dock very much works on word of mouth. And it would be great to have a few more subscribers and to have more interaction. Please keep that interaction going, because, again, it does make a massive difference to us. So, yeah. All that's left for me to say is have a great week and do Pembroke Dock proud. All the best.
Be strong.